What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it didn't take long for the vocal minority to co-opt the Blizzard Activision walkout, which will essentially submarine the entire thing. It's like Occupy Wall Street all over again. If you've been following the story, there's several events going on today within Activision and Blizzard, including a walkout and a virtual protest inside of World of Warcraft, but it's not looking great. It's already been ruined, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why I'm right about that, because I just am. There's really no denying it. You see, Activision Blizzard are staging their walkout, of course, protest on Wednesday. I predict hardly anyone shows up, and I bet you it would have been much better. This action comes after an open letter signed by 2,500 current and past Activision Blizzard employees criticizing Activision's official statement on the lawsuit following numerous statements of support from employees on Twitter. When asked if there were plans for further action if the walkout demands are not met, an anonymous source told WoW, "We expect that leadership will be willing to work with us, but if they don't, we'll continue to apply pressure through various avenues we have to do so. We do not plan to stop demanding change in this area until we achieve it." The walkout will take place today, July 28th. And here's where it falls apart. Okay. This went from something we all agreed on, that like this environment where people at Blizzard were working for the past several years and are working now seems toxic, and some of the things that men and women had to endure there is not okay, especially when you're talking about it coming from senior leadership and the likelihood that everybody right up to Mike Morhaime knew about it. I think we all agreed that like Blizzard screwed up, right? You threw this into the mix with the mass exodus already happening to Final Fantasy XIV, which, by the way, if you're watching this video, I'm probably playing it live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/thequartering. After you're done watching, come on over and say hi. You had that. You obviously had the disappointment in the latest Shadowlands expansion. You've had a lot of kind of nails in the Blizzard coffin. Politically speaking, they had the Blitzchung debacle with Hearthstone, bending the knee to China with censorship in game, a wide variety of other issues. But we all agreed that, like, okay, this isn't okay. Blizzard really needs to fix this. You know, having hookup parties on the clock is not okay. Having people promoted for hooking up with their bosses or putting pressure on female employees for some physical attention in exchange for promotions. This is not okay. Yesterday, or late this morning, actually 20 minutes ago, check that. More Blizzard employees have come forward with support for victims and condemnation of Activision Blizzard's handling. We've already reported how many Blizzard employees have resolutely come forward to make statements condemning Blizzard's actions and official response. Some are calling out Fran Townsend's response. Specifically, the executive recently put out a statement claiming the lawsuit was factually incorrect. And by the way, it may be. There may be facts that are incorrect. Now, there's an Activision Blizzard walkout that starts at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. I think that's like right now as I'm recording this. You can see Marissa is green. I don't know what to say. AB statements have been an utter embarrassment and complete trash. I'm really proud of everyone who came forward. Remember, every woman you know has a story, so that's pretty effed up, frankly. Do better. Be better. Fran Townsend is absolutely does not speak for me. You see Nikki Crenshaw saying, "My tweets represent my own views and not the views of the company. I stand with the Activision Blizzard victims and believe their stories. To claim that these stories are factually incorrect or untrue is a slap in the face of current and former employees. Does not represent my core values." This is a difficult position to be in for me because I am in support of rooting this type of stuff out, but I am not a hashtag believe all women guy. I am not a hashtag believe everybody that ever says anything ever happened to them on Twitter. That's just being willfully ignorant. That's allowing you to harass people and spread misinformation and avoid any kind of responsibility for that. We've seen too many cases, whether it was Pro Jared or whether it was Andy Signor from Honest Trailers. These are men that had their names, their entire careers ruined over lies, and these men kept the receipts and showed us later, but it didn't matter. So Pro Jared was a little better off, in rebuilding, but Andy Signor was never able to he's working hard at it, but I mean that guy was at the top of the YouTube food chain. Eric Covington, it's difficult to read. We could have done better. Apologies from Big Names TM. No longer at the company. When I've heard horrific stories about those individuals and the atmosphere they directly created in the workplace. This is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of everyone knew. Mike Morheim knew, the CFO, the CTO, the HR people, they all knew. In some cases, they took part in it. Sally Kim, game producer, Overwatch 2. Sifting through 9 years of Blizzard's memories have me emotional. Blizzard is only Blizzard when people treasure one another and aspire to uphold the core values. What we need is empathy, accountability, and change right now, and all I feel is hurt, disappointment, anger, and shame. Game designer Jackie Wiley weighing in. Elizabeth Larkin, tool software engineer. Many people weighing in, but it's doomed to fail. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. We see this, the statement of intent. This has now gone in just a few minutes to something we can all agree on. Hey, everyone that works at Blizzard has been subjected to a toxic work environment. Let's all band together to hold Activision and Blizzard accountable. To now, you get stuff like this. In order to improve conditions for employees at the company, especially women, and particularly women of color, and trans women, and non-binary people, and other marginalized groups. So imagine you work for Blizzard, and you're part of the 96% of employees that are not a woman of color who's also trans and non-binary. You're talking about 50 employees at Blizzard that might fit in this group. What just happened to your support for this? Are you going to lay your job on the line for a group that now openly no longer says it represents you? There are absolutely cis females and cis males, straight males and straight females that were affected by this behavior, but now it's been co-opted. Now they're asking for stuff, empower a company-wide diversity, equity. By the way, equity is a BS buzzword. And like equity itself isn't, but it's what they're using to define our version of equality. That's what equity means. It's social justice equality. It doesn't mean fair treatment for all. It means special treatment for some, in particular the ones that have the right check boxes. And they want an inclusion task force and to hire a third party to audit ABKs, that's Activision Blizzard's, and King's reporting structure, HR department, executive staff. It's imperative to identify. This is only going to make it worse now for Blizzard. Here's the poster you see. Activision Blizzard, Walkout for Equality, July 28th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Great. Okay, I'm in. Do not cross the virtual picket line. Avoid logging into anything Activision Blizzard. World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Hearthstone, Call of Duty, Warzone. Great, I'm with you. I'm ready to share this image. How can I help? Oh, donate to Black Girls Code, which is a company that directly smeared me online and was forced to delete their slanderous statements about me. Futures, you have Girls Who Code, Women in Animation, Women in Games International. Why? You're supposed to be fighting for employee rights inside your company, and now you're turning this into some BS social justice stuff. This is a huge mistake. I mean, I'm telling you, this is exactly, somebody inside of Blizzard is looking at this and is extremely happy that the vocal minority has now taken over. Here's Erika Ishii, Apex Legends, Valkyrie. I don't know who this person is. They're obviously pretty popular. Support Activision Blizzard Walkout developer friends. Thank you for taking action to make the whole industry better. What does she post? give money to social justice grift organizations like Black Girls Code. So this went from something, that affected everybody to now they're just not whitewashing it. That's a hilarious slip. You're washing this away it's no longer about protecting employees and making wrongs right. Sorry. It's now about supporting social justice initiatives online. This is no longer about the employees. Imagine if you're one of these employees that was harassed, and it sounds like there's plenty of them, or one that was, forced into sleeping with their boss. And you see your movement for justice for you now funneling money off to other social justice organizations. This is so perfect. This is so perfectly set up for Blizzard to just let this fall apart, because whoever they let, and understand this, the overwhelming majority of people that work at Blizzard are not social justice morons. They're hard workers that just want to get by and pay their bills and play some video games or design games they love. The problem is people like this don't often speak up for themselves. And so these vocal minority people, the people in the vocal minority, co-opted this within minutes. Is this even about Activision employees anymore? Why am I being told to give money to girls who code? What about the actual victims? What about the women that work at Blizzard right now, or worked at Blizzard right now? Use a blue heart emoji? What is this? This is just another watered down social justice push, and they blew it. I was 100% behind you. And I still stand with the actual victims here, but now you've let this get co-opted into everybody else clout chasing. Soon you'll have Anita Sarkeesian interjecting herself into all of this. It's so frustrating for the actual victims here. Join the virtual protest in support of Activision Blizzard employee walkout. I mean, why? They're already making it about people that don't even work at the company. They're already using it to bring in more woke BS into the company. They're using it to demand diversity and equity training. Bro, you don't need diversity and equity training. Stop banging your employees. It's that simple. And if you do, you're fired. How hard is it? This isn't some new problem. Bosses have been banging their employees since the beginning of time. All right? You find out about it, you fire them. What is so hard about that? They blew it. They already blew this.